This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is your host, Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain with the county's Community Information Division. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors, the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Today I'm joined by co-host Clayton Jackson. Good morning, Clayton.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Christmas is around the corner, and I think there's a lot of traveling going on. And we got great news this week that Nicole was declared a federal disaster, and we've got Kimberly Fuller, who's here in the studio from FEMA, and she's going to talk to us about getting benefits, individual assistance, and so on and so forth.
Oh, that's amazing news. And I said this has been something that's been needed in our community. Again, we have already been declared a disaster for Hurricane Ian. Residents who've been impacted by that storm have had assistance available to apply for assistance, and now that same opportunity is now available for persons who've been impacted by Hurricane Nicole. And we'll let Kim touch a little bit more on that a little bit later in the show.
Excellent. And so joining with us also today is Joanne Magley from the airport. She is with marketing and customer experience. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Clayton.
Hey,
Thanks
morning.
so much for being here. So right now, everybody is probably got travel on their mind. I'll tell you, I've got family from Wisconsin coming down, and they're landing right at Daytona International Airport. And what's the slogan again? It's easy, stress-free, and I just remember the stress-free part because it is.
Well, our older slogan, which still rings true, is fast, friendly, stress-free.
There you go.
But our newer tagline is right airport, right here. So
I love it.
It's the
I
right
love it.
airport right here in Volusia County for many, many reasons.
Where can you go where you can just park in the long-term parking lot and it's inexpensive and you can just walk? It's like parking at Walmart. That's almost literally how close it is to the terminal.
We kind of compare ourselves to a boutique type of airport. So a quick walk from the parking lot to the terminal. Lines in TSA, you'll never wait more than about 5 minutes in the TSA checkpoint line. We have the two major carriers, Delta and American, which will take you anywhere in the world with just really quick connections. But we also have seasonal service with American Airlines, and Delta also offers seasonal service once in a while, but American, since 2020, has been offering seasonal service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Philadelphia and DC. So yesterday was the start of the seasonal service for Dallas-Fort Worth, and on Saturday the seasonal service picks up again for DC. Now DC is just on Saturdays, but the Dallas service is daily.
Oh, wow, daily.
How cool is that?
And I'll tell you, I just yesterday in the lobby, I ran into a couple from St. Augustine, and they had never been to our airport before, but they did some searching around for flights, and they found the Dallas flight. They didn't know it was the first flight of the season, but it was a better price than what they're used to in Jacksonville. And they might have driven maybe 10 minutes further to get here, but they didn't have that, they didn't have all the congestion in the downtown area of the bigger city. They didn't have the long lines for parking or driving, and they were just amazed at how convenient the airport was. And you have to consider that as well when you're thinking about the cost of travel. What is your time worth when you're traveling?
So still stress-free in a way, even though the logo
it still rings true. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So again, we're in a holidays season. And have you noticed a little bit of uptick in the foot traffic? I know your office is there, so have you started seeing more people come in and out of the terminal?
Definitely. So people love to travel over the holidays, especially, I don't want to say we're out of COVID because we know that that's not true.
And
but
we
have
again.
We do have our the different protections that are in now than were here back in a few years ago. So more people are traveling. We saw the uptick. We've seen an uptick all year, except for a few months in the summer, and that was really due to constraints with not enough aircraft, and there's still pilots and crew shortages. So even though there's a high demand for travel, there's not necessarily the number of aircraft and crews to be able to just add more flights. So we were kind of flat for a little while in the summer, but now that we've added these new flights with the Dallas and the DC, we'll have an uptick with that as well. And we're gonna end 2022 better significantly than we did last year. So that's always a good sign
That's great news.
for the number of passengers that traveled in and out.
And speaking of, you just mentioned COVID, for travelers who may be going to the airport, is there a mask requirement still, or
No,
not?
the mask requirement was lifted earlier in 21, but people will still wear masks, whatever makes them comfortable, and the airport still offers our DAB Cares kits. So if you go to the front information counter, we have what we call DAB Cares kits. And during the pandemic, we were passing these kits out to all the passengers just as a way to help ease their help ease their stress about traveling. So the Cares kits include a branded DAB face covering. It also had a little travel size sanitizer, had a couple breath mints in there, and it had a luggage tag. And those are still available at our information desk for anybody who just might want some of that extra security when they travel.
So not required, but available.
Correct.
You know, and the other thing about the airport right now, that a marketing thing that you're doing that's very family focused and kids focused, is this little guy. I brought him in the studio for everyone to see because Joanne gave me one. It's a little plush dog. This one is Charlie. I think he's a Belgian Malinois. And you give them to kids. You gave me one because you know I can't get a dog at home.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody's listening, but at least this is the dog I get to have. He's adorable.
Well, customer service and the customer experience is really the top of the list when it comes to our mission at Daytona Beach International Airport. We make sure that the experience that the passenger has is the best it can be, because traveling can be stressful.
Sure.
It can be stressful. So we partnered with the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. They are the deputies that are our security team in the airport, and they have been for years. And so we have 4 deputies that have canines. So that means that around the clock there's always deputies with a canine. And that's a very high level of security at an airport, especially for our size. And so these we got these plush dogs to match the dog that the canines have. We have Charlie, Cato, Guinness, and
Guinness. What a great
Charlie,
idea.
Cato, Guinness. I'm blanking on the 4th dog.
And are they all shepherds, or they're different types of breeds?
Yeah, Guinness is a chocolate lab, and then the other 2 are a shepherd, and then one of them is the dog you just mentioned.
The Belgian Malinois.
Yeah.
So is it because you're not supposed to pet those security dogs?
Right.
Is that kind of the idea, is to give them a plush toy instead of
Yeah, it was a little
disturbing
bit
the
of
dog?
both. We wanted to partner with the Sheriff's Office just to help increase the the personal communications with law enforcement and the passengers. A lot of times when people see law enforcement, maybe they feel a little uncomfortable, and this was trying to bridge that gap.
Sure.
That they're a resource here at our airport to help. And so usually when one of the canine officers are walking around, there might be another one with them, and if they see a family or even just
Even somebody
even
who
a
wants a
big
dog like me?
even a big kid, they can go around and they have these little plush doggies to give away. So that's just a nicety that our airport has that you won't see other places. Another customer experience that we have, we have a business center that we really turned into a library. So it's a small area right in the concourse, and it's all glass, so you have a good view of the airfield, and you also have a good view of the rest of the concourse. But we partner with the Volusia County Library, and they supply it with all sorts of books that are current books. And you can take these books. You don't have to bring them back. You can just keep them. But in addition, you can get into the library's electronic system, into their library database, and download ebooks, movies, songs, whatever, without having to have a library card. And so that's great for our passengers too, because if you
Wow.
forget to download something before you leave your house, you can do it at the airport.
Oh, wonderful. And again, I keep going back to the holiday season, but is the airport spreading a little holiday cheer with some events going on?
We love the holiday season at the airport. So we always decorate. This year we have a new 22-foot tree that has large, colorful LED lights. That is right in the front lobby when you come in. It's great. It's a great picture spot. But then also at the top of the escalator area, we have our fan favorite. It's our poinsettia tree, and we've had that for probably 30 years or so. It's been at the airport for a while. But we also do some events. So on Friday today, we have the Acapellas. They are from Embry-Riddle, and they are an a cappella group. They're called the Acapellas. So they're going to be singing some
that.
carols at the airport for a few hours. Tomorrow on Saturday, we have the Galaxy Middle School Chorus coming in, and they're going to be singing for a couple hours. And this is really so that passengers coming and going just have this little bit of holiday
that's
entertainment at the airport. And then next week, we're doing cocoa with the law enforcement or public safety officers. So our firefighters from the airport, they will be serving hot cocoa next week. And then our sheriff's office deputies will be serving hot cocoa on a day next week as well, just for a couple hours. And we have all the trimmings and stuff. And then the grand finale will be on the 23rd of December. Santa makes a stop at our airport, and all the passengers get a surprise. Some of the presents come on the luggage belt, and then some presents will be handed out as passengers depart that don't have baggage. But then Santa also comes and visits with the passengers for all of the arriving
amazing.
flights.
That is really neat.
So it's really fun.
Chris Kringle coming through Daytona. Wow.
Love it.
You know, it's something to be said about going through Daytona if you can, especially if you're a Volusia County resident. It's so easy, and even if people complain that it might cost more money, what you just said before is time is money. What's your time worth? And look at all the great things that you're doing around the holidays to make it family focused and really entertaining as well. That's amazing.
Well, we are always talking to airlines about additional flights, and we do believe that 2023 is going to be a great year for adding some new flights. But in addition, check around on flights, and you might be surprised that we're not always the highest. And like you said, your
That's
time
true.
is money.
That's true.
If you always have to have a direct flight, just consider that if you drive an hour plus to another airport, you are making a connection. You're just driving that connection instead of letting a pilot fly the connection for you.
And think about the Uber costs too. Like
Yeah.
it's much cheaper. Like I live in Port Orange, it's much cheaper for me to get an Uber when I fly back in from Kentucky, from Daytona back to Port Orange, than other airports as well.
Yeah, so just look at all the factors, and then if you try DAB, if you haven't tried it, you'll probably repeat it because it's that
absolutely.
experience.
Oh, I have.
We don't even, my wife and I don't even consider going to Orlando or Jax because then you got to go through downtown. So we'll take a quick break here with Volusia Today. We're talking with Joanne Magley with the airport, and then when we come back, we're going to talk with Kim Fuller with FEMA. Stay with us.
Volusia County is our home. If we don't respect it, who will? Litter is a problem, one that we can solve. But it's going to take all of us working together. Did you know that Volusia County has several programs and events that can help keep our coastal environment clean and litter-free? You can become a jetty ambassador, participate in a waterway or coastal cleanup, utilize a fill-a-bag station, organize a beach cleanup, or adopt a beach. I walk the beaches every day. I see the pollution that's around, and I want to make it better, and each and every one of us have a part in this. We have receptacles everywhere in Volusia County. Make sure you use them. That's why they're here. The problem is serious, and one we have created. Well, you don't have to go far from the beach to see the effects of it. You can come right here to our Marine Science Center and see our turtles and our birds and the effects that it takes on them. Many of them were suffering from being caught or entangled in fishing line and gear left in the environment, or ingesting litter and trash such as plastic bags and balloons. This can lead to severe injury or even death. What matters is that we all do our part to fix it. Don't be a litter bug, and pick up litter when you see it. Every litter bit counts. It is up to all of us to teach all of them to what? Keep Volusia litter-free. Keep Volusia beautiful.
We're back. I'm Clayton Jackson along with Kevin Captain, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia. And we are bringing our next guest up, Miss Kim Fuller with FEMA. And how are you doing this morning, Kim?
Well, I'm great now that I heard about all the options out at the Daytona Beach Airport. I'm here for the long haul, but I'll tell you, I'm going to consider that airport for my departure.
And where would that departing flight be going home to?
I'll be going to Los Angeles.
Wow, you're here from a long ways away.
Coast
We
to
certainly
coast.
appreciate you being here and your service to our residents with Nicole.
Thank you so much.
So, as Kevin mentioned earlier, we do have some good news for our residents that Hurricane Nicole just in the middle of this week was declared a federal disaster. What that means is now residents who have been impacted by Hurricane Nicole are also eligible to apply for FEMA assistance in addition to Hurricane Ian. So, with the declaration just being made, Kim, are people able to apply right now for assistance?
That's right. President Biden declared Hurricane Nicole a federal disaster, and so that means that right now on our website, our FEMA app, and at our 800 number, there is the option to go ahead and apply for assistance. You can even go into a disaster recovery center in the county here and surrounding counties to apply for temporary lodging, repairs, as well as other related disaster expenses.
And speaking of the DRCs, that's our acronym for Disaster Recovery Center. So that all our listeners know, that's at the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County. It's 1845 Holsenbach in Daytona, just north of ISB, off of Bill France. Talk about the hours and availability during the holidays. As we approach the holidays, you're still going to be, staff are still there, right? You only have like maybe 1 or 2 days off, that's it?
That's right, and let me just bring up a point about today. We're actually going to have a pop-up disaster assistance center in New Smyrna Beach, and that's at the gym at 1000 Live Oak Street, is that right, in New Smyrna Beach. We were there about 2 weeks ago at another facility, and we stayed 4 extra hours along with the Small Business Administration because we had so many people there. But that's why today I want to not only talk about the disaster recovery centers, but the option of going electronically with either the 800 number, the FEMA app, the FEMA app is your friend because it's always going to be on your phone and it's always available, and then the disasterassistance.gov website. But during the holidays, we will be there. But best thing is to check on your website here because we will post what the hours are. Because our federal holiday is actually Monday, the 27th. So I'm guessing we're going to be closed, and I don't want to give you false information if we end up being closed on the 27th.
So always just check that. Go to FEMA.gov, check it out. And when you said about the app, you can locate all the area DRCs. And even if you're, say, away from the holidays, you can go to the one in, say, Lake County or anywhere else,
You
right?
can go to anyone. It doesn't have to be the one in your county. The 800 number is open from 7 in the morning to 11 at night. So if you just wait a little later in the day, there won't be as long of a wait. But a lot of people like to go face-to-face with a human being, and so that's why these disaster assistance and disaster recovery centers are a great option, because oftentimes the workers will hear the personal story of the disaster survivor, and they pick up on something that they didn't see in their application. And sometimes those stories are very stressful for our disaster service employees, but they're also a godsend because we are able to give additional benefits to those people.
And Volusia County, we are in a very unique situation right now. We have a declaration for Hurricane Ian and now Hurricane Nicole. So I'm going to throw a scenario out for you. Say I'm a resident and I was impacted by Hurricane Ian. I applied for FEMA assistance. I was approved for FEMA assistance. However, I was also impacted by Hurricane Nicole. Am I eligible to apply for assistance again now through Hurricane Nicole, even though I've already received assistance through Hurricane Ian?
The good news is you're eligible for both. The downside is you get to apply again.
Okay.
And but that means you've already learned the steps of how you apply for disaster assistance. You know the documentation that you need. So bring it to either the Disaster Recovery Center or call the 800 number. Go to the website or the FEMA app and upload your documentation again. The difference is going to be the dates that the disaster occurred to you. And that will show which disaster that you're eligible for.
And I'm going to throw one more at you. The deadline to apply for FEMA assistance for Hurricane Ian is January 12th. Say, for example, I have not applied. I was impacted by Hurricane Ian, but I have yet to apply. So can I still apply for basically two different storms? Can I apply for Ian and Nicole? Am I able to do that?
Yes, you can apply for both. You have right now the date for Hurricane Ian. The deadline is January 12th. The deadline for Hurricane Nicole, I've not been told yet, but we'll make sure that you guys have that on your website. But it will be a month or so. And then also, just this time, give yourself time for if you're going to do two at one time, because some people do tell me that it takes them about an hour to get all of their documentation uploaded and also get all of the information that they need, which will include your insurance information if you have it, your ID, your banking information, anything that if you're expecting the money, you have to be able to get it in a bank account. You have to have your address, the proof of ownership of your home. So get all of those things in order. Now, granted, if you had water damage or such at your home, you might not have those things, but most of the counties do have ways for you to get that through your clerk's office or other means. So just check with them how to get that.
And we've also had folks from the Small Business Administration on the show previous, and FEMA works in tandem with the SBA. And I think if you could talk to us a little bit about that relationship that you have with both, and that when you're applying for assistance, you really should apply for both. And I think also to just emphasize strongly that just because the name says small business, it does not mean that it's only or strictly for business.
That's right, and that's really a misnomer. That's something important that we need to get out right now. I work very, very closely with the Small Business Administration. In fact, I was trying to get my counterpart with the SBIA on this program with me this morning because they have a very important message. They're giving a waiver, 0% interest on their 12 months for the Small Business Administration loans. But those loans are not just for businesses. They're for homeowners and renters as well. And if you apply for FEMA assistance and get a letter, oftentimes you'll get a determination letter that says denial. But denial does not mean no benefits. Please look very carefully at that letter, and sometimes in that letter it'll say that you need to apply for a Small Business Administration loan. So please apply for it. If you do not fill out the paperwork, your benefits process ends. So let's say you fill out the application. You have two options. You can deny, you can say I don't want the loan, or let's say they deny you. Well, then guess what? Your application goes back to FEMA for possible assistance. So do not say I don't want a loan right away, because that denial in a loan may mean you get FEMA benefits.
And I'll dig back into what you said about the 0% interest for the first year. I've also read somewhere that the first year's payments, they are deferred. Is that correct?
You know, one thing I learned about in my business is I'm not going to speak for the Small Business Administration because I don't know all the details on it. But at SBA.gov and their disaster assistance, it's right at the top of their webpage today with what the details are with that new waiver.
But like you say, I mean, if you're denied for FEMA and you consider SBA, 0% is a heck of a deal for a loan, especially while we're seeing the Fed increase the interest rate here over the last couple of weeks. So, hey, it's a great benefit.
And also, just on the loan thing, fill it out. Let's say they give you a loan. You don't have to take it, but it's in your pool of resources in the event that you end up not getting all the money that you think you're going to get from your insurance or other means. At least you have that loan available.
Excellent. We'll take our last break here with Volusia Today and come back and wrap up today's show with Joanne and Kim. Stay with us.
Volusia County is a beautiful place to live, but if
If we don't respect it, who will?
Litter is a problem, one that we can solve.
But it's going to take all of us working together.
What matters is that we all do our part.
Don't be a litter bug.
And pick up litter whenever you see it.
Every litter bit counts.
Keep Volusia beautiful.
I'm Will Roberts, your Volusia County tax collector. When the annual property tax bill arrives in the mail, most people want to know how much they have to pay. It's all about the bottom line of the bill. That's where you'll find the amount due. You receive a discount the earlier you pay your taxes. The discounts and the due dates also are at the bottom of the bill. For example, if you pay in full in November, you get a 4% discount. There are two more important items on the bill. First, make sure all of your exemptions are listed. And finally, you may pay by phone, online, or by mail. If you're paying by check, make sure it's made payable to Will Roberts, Tax Collector. If you have questions, please visit our website at vctaxcollector.org. That's vctaxcollector.org. Or call us at 386-736-5938.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
We're back. We'll just finish up Volusia Today here. Kim, thank you again for being here. Kim is with FEMA, and we're getting into the holidays, and this is obviously, you're starting a new deployment here in Volusia County, and we were talking before the show that you've lived everywhere. You're from Los Angeles. You've got family in Oklahoma. What are you going to do for the holidays now that you're going to be deployed here for at least, 30, 60, 90 days?
Right. Well, we're really lucky as FEMA employees. We're like a family. But fortunately, I also have family in the area. So I'll be taking my Small Business Administration counterpart with me again. Sherry had to survive Thanksgiving with my cousins in Spring Hill, so we're going to head there. But we're really loving the holidays here because we become part of the community. And I'm not even sure if this is public information, but go for it, Kim.
You heard it here on Volusia Today.
All of our branches participated in Toys for Tots, and we all give to our own communities at home, so it gave us an opportunity to give to Orlando area here, Tampa, and also Fort Myers, and our branch collected over 350 toys, and we don't even have 350 employees in our office, so we're really happy to be able to do that.
That is absolutely amazing.
Incredible.
And earlier we were talking. Go ahead,
I have
Joanne.
a real quick fun thing for Christmas. So the kids are making cards for their teachers, and my 9-year-old takes about a half hour to make this great drawing, and then what he writes in it for one of his 3 teachers is, "You are the second best teacher of the whole time I've been in school." And I just chuckled, and he's like, "What? Do you think that's rude?" I'm like, "It's perfect. She'll love it." But I bet you she's going to ask, well, gosh, who was number 1? Kids are precious.
Who is number 1?
Well, we won't name names.
Well, the other thing I got to just say, too, you were talking about, having choirs and a cappella and everything coming to the airport. I saw the little mini video that the staff did at the airport, and you guys rock.
Thank
I just gotta
you,
say
and it's actually flydab.com/holidays to check out the very unique holiday Christmas video singing song that many staff participated in, and including tenants. Just great holiday cheer.
It's really amazing. With that, we'll wrap up Volusia Today. Kim Fuller with FEMA, thank you so much for being on the show, and Joanne Magley with the Daytona Beach International Airport. Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays. Take care. Stay safe. And help your neighbors.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.